So there were these three young novice monks, right? They were in training, and they wanted to get as much knowledge as they could, right? So they heard about this old dude who lived in a cave, and he was the master. He had all the knowledge. He was the one to go see, right? So they made this trek to go see this guy, and it was a hard road. It was a difficult journey, and so they were traveling for days and days and days. And so they finally get to where this monk is living in this cave, and they walk into the cave and they see him sitting down and he's about to have soup. This monk, he only eats one time a day in the middle of the day, and it's usually just soup. So he's sitting down and he's about to have his soup. And as he's sitting down about to eat his soup, these young men who had come all this long way are just walking in. So they immediately start asking him questions. Hey, what can you tell us about Zen? We want to learn about Zen. Can you show us what it is to be a Zen master? They start hitting him with all these questions. And he doesn't say anything to him. He just continues to eat his soup. And they keep asking him questions over and over again. And he pretty much is ignoring them. And he's just eating his soup. And then finally, he motions to his assistant and says, "Hey, give them some soup." So they all have soup. And then so the young monks are looking at him like he's crazy. Like, what are you talking? We're not here to eat soup. We're here to learn about Zen. And so they're eating their soup reluctantly, and he's still eating his soup. But they're still talking, trying to get some information out of him while they're eating the soup. And so after the monk has finished his soup, and the guys, they're finished their soup, he says to them, he says, "So you are eating your soup and thinking about Zen. You're eating your soup and you're thinking about Zen. You're eating your soup and you're thinking about Zen. Zen. I am eating my soup. That is Zen." So what is that story telling us? That story is telling us that you find your Zen, your meditative space. You can find it in anything that you do, in any task that you do, when you just do the thing, right? I'll give you an example. Sometimes when I'm at work, I work at an Indian restaurant. I'm a tandoori cook. I make all of the bread for the restaurant. There are times when I don't have to think so hard, as far as I might be doing a mundane task like just rolling dough. Now I could put my headphones on and roll the dough, but or put an earpiece in and roll the dough, listen to my music. Sometimes I do that, or listen to some meditation tape or some meditation music, or listen to a podcast. But what I really get benefit and just a lot of juice when I focus 100% on what I'm doing, right? Even though it's a mundane task, I'm picking up the bread and then I roll it into a ball and I sit it onto a tray. I pick it up from the big bucket, the big bus tub, I roll it and I put it on the tray. But that action, sometimes I find more joy in that action than most of the things that I do throughout my whole day, right? Because I just get tapped into it. I am not doing anything but rolling the dough. You know what I mean? I'm not doing anything else but rolling the dough. That's it. I'm not thinking about what I have to do tomorrow. I'm not thinking about what happened yesterday. I am in the present moment, standing there rolling the dough. right? So that's what that story is telling us. That story is telling us to be in the moment, do the thing, right? Do the thing. Not don't My wife likes to say, and I agree 100%, confusion is the devil, right? Multitasking for me and for most folks doesn't work. Our brains are not designed to work like that. Our brains are not computers. But that's a whole nother conversation. One thing, focusing on that one thing and being engulfed in that one thing is what this story is telling us, right? Is what this story is talking about. There's also another story that I like. It's about again, it's a monk who's in a cave, and a man comes to visit him, and so this man that is coming to visit him is a well seasoned student, I guess you could say. He has been a lot of places, seen a lot of things, and so he has a lot of information. So he comes to sit and talk with the monk to get some information. So he's sitting talking to him. However, as soon as he sits down, he starts talking about, I went to this temple and studied this. I went to this country and studied that. Just talking, talking, talking. And so the monk is sitting there looking at him like, okay. So he grabs some tea and he puts two cups. Guy is still running his mouth, talking, talking, talking. Monk puts the cups down and has the tea kettle with the tea or whatnot in it. He pours himself some tea, right? Little tea. And then he pours tea for, hello, brother. Then he pours tea for the man that's sitting in front of him. And he's pouring the tea, and then he keeps pouring it. And the tea overflows out of the cup into the saucer, onto the floor. The guy's talking, but then all of a sudden he looks down and he's like, oh, wait a minute, stop. And the monk says, that's it. That's exactly it. Stop. You can't pour tea into a full cup. And so, what is that story telling us? One of my favorites. It's like the guy, you can't learn anything if you're not open to it. If you think you know everything, then there's no space to learn, right? If you think, oh, I've got it all figured out, I know everything, then you're not going to learn anything new, right? So that's what that story is telling us. So that's it for the live today. I'm going to cut it off. Um, I'm always open for any questions, comments, or concerns anybody might have. I can, if anybody might have any questions or comments now, I can address those. Hello, Gilberto, and hello, brother Mac. Get him down, Mister. Get him down. Peace. Yeah. So, mhm. All right. So again, yep, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And again, any questions, comments, or concerns anybody might have, please leave those. You can send me a message. So until then, thanks for watching. Peace.